Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another video. I am walking from the post office, shipping off some shoes. If anybody is going to be coming here and shipping stuff, I would recommend, if you have a business license, of course, signing up with DHL. They're the best service, the most reliable. But you also have Air Max, and you have some other small companies like iSmile, Shippa. If you're gonna do international, or you can use EMS service at the United Arab Emirates Postal Service. Those are some of the options. Of course, that's if you like frequently sending smaller things. So this video is about the pros and cons of the different countries. I'll say the ones that I've been to, and some of the ones that I know of that others are currently living in. And any one of you who are living in these countries and want to add to the list or come to some defense, feel free to put your statements in the comment section. We are not a one-sided thinking person here. So this is just my own personal views as relates to what are the pros and cons of the different countries. Someone asked me to make a video about that, and I do think that that's something that's beneficial. So let's see, let's start at the top with Egypt, because that's where everybody usually goes first, and then we're gonna follow up with Morocco. So the pros of going to Egypt is easy. They give you a visa. No, I'm sorry, you got visa-free entry. If you are from varying countries, you could just go in. So I know you see me. If you're from varying countries, you could just come in. Especially if you're Western, you could just come in, which everybody knows that. So easy tourist visa. You can rent an apartment without being a resident. The Arabic centers are plentiful. Even the Arabic teachers are plentiful from the Egyptians, where you can learn the language. You know, Fusha. You learn it very well because the Egyptians, since they speak their own dialect, many of them try to learn the Arabic language to preserve it. Because Egyptian Amiya is different, you know. It is Arab-based, of course, but they add sh and take out, they should add sh at the end of their words and take out the qaf, or they don't pronounce the qaf as qaf. They don't pronounce the ghain. No. Yeah, they pronounce the jim as ghain. And, you know, stuff like that. You just got to get used to it. And there's some other words from different languages that entered into their language as well. So you got to learn. You can learn Fusha in Egypt, you know, easily. Also, let me see the pros of Egypt. Yeah, those are what I see. You know, the ease of coming in, renting your place, getting the Arabic. You know, yeah. And the food is good. I like the Egyptian food, even though I can't eat it because they put samna in everything. The ghee, I can't eat dairy. So, but there's other stuff you can eat that don't have that. But most of it, yeah, they are ghee crazy. So that's a con for me. So let's start on the cons. The cons is that for some people it's difficult to renew the visa, the tourist visa. It's difficult to gain residency unless you're registered in a school. It's difficult to be someone that is from Ahl Sunnah and dressed in Islamic attire and not be suspected as some type of threat. So they're throwing, they're catching people unjustly in certain areas in Cairo, throwing them in prison and even deporting them, from what I'm learning. But it's in certain areas. It's not the whole entire Cairo. It's just, from what I heard, it's like Hayya Ashir, areas like that, the downtown area. They just grab you. If you're in Tahrir, if you're in maybe I don't know about Ma'adi. I'm not gonna say that. But like I said, any of you who knows what's going on exactly, then y'all can put your comments down below to let the people know what's going on. But I'm gonna give y'all some information. That's the end pretty much of my cons. Oh, the Egyptians, they're difficult to deal with. Their culture, they got drama with them. But you got good civilized Egyptians. Not saying that the other ones aren't civilized, it's just that they have a certain culture. It depends on the class of people. Yeah. There you go. It depends on the class of people. If you are with the lower class, like if you're down in like Ain al-Shams, or even the middle class people, then you're gonna find some grimy behavior. When you mix with the upper classes, many of them have traveled outside. They're open-minded. They got businesses in other places. They do business internationally with other Arab. So they're more open-minded and they're calm and they don't have all of that nonsense with them. Not saying that some rich people don't have nonsense with them, because I've heard of individuals getting scammed and burned out of their money for doing business with an Egyptian who was wealthy. He burnt them out of like $500,000. So, yeah, it can happen to you. But for the most part, the richer, the more wealthy people are more calm. They're not all that religious, but they are religious, wealthy Egyptians. So, what I noticed as relates to Egypt, you come in there, if you come in there and you do business, you can get a visa easily, Iqama, easy. You got an Egyptian that'll scoop you up and give you Iqama, partner with you, all of that stuff, or sponsor you. It's a lady who, she not even on the dawah. This lady was like Sufi or something. I was following her on Facebook. This was years ago, before I came here. No, I think I was here, yeah. Because I was asking her, wow, you came to Egypt and just got Iqama like overnight. And it was like on accident. Of course it's Qatar, it's not accident, but she wasn't even planning on getting residency. She went on a trip, and she's somebody who has had residency in different countries, just trying it. But she's a nurse in the United States, so she never planned on staying. She just was like, oh, I was able to get it just by meeting people and telling them like, yeah, I'm thinking about opening up a shop over here, blah, blah, blah. And she wasn't dressed like us. So she was able to get, I was amazed how she was able to get residency like within like a week. She showed her card and everything, and then when I started asking her like, oh, I'm also doing the same thing, her trying to help people get residency actually. Well, she wasn't doing it, but I was telling her that's what I'll do. And if you could, I see that you got residency pretty quickly. If you don't mind like sharing some of the steps and blah blah blah. She straight up ignored me. We used to interact a lot, but she straight up ignored me and was like, stop liking my comments when I asked her for some information. So I'm like, oh, okay, you one of them, no problem. Basically like, this is my thing, this is what I do, this is what I did, you don't worry about it. Okay, no problem, got it. But yeah, Egypt also has a free zone, just in case y'all didn't know, for business. They have a free zone. There's plenty of business opportunities in Egypt, plenty of people who speak English when you get into the business world. So it's really up to you. This is the industrial area, by the way, I'm walking past. That's why it's so crusty and dusty around here. Industrial. So yeah, if you want to make the best out of Egypt, as far as like integration and having a life outside of, your Islamic studies, if you want to move to the next level, you want to get into real estate or whatever you want to do, you got to go to the upper classes. That's just what it is. You got to go to the business world, go to those expos. They have business expos there. If I was in Egypt, I would be doing the same thing there that I was doing here. Because I started following all the pages, all the business pages in Egypt. People who were in the industry similar to mine as relates to fashion and footwear. So that's how I learned. And I was just looking up other things as well. Like the laundromat, expo, laundry, cleaning, expo. They have expos for all sorts of things, for every industry in Egypt. You just have to find it. Same thing in Morocco. All right, so let's move on to Morocco. The pros. I've never been to Morocco, never lived there. Always heard about it, always knew people who have lived there. Pros in Morocco, same thing. You can get the Arabic language, but you have to be in a city where there are Arab, like people who speak, of course they're Arab, but they're French speaking, or the Arabic is mixed with the French. So you gotta go to a city where you can hear Arabic everywhere. Those who are in Morocco, or those who know the Salafiyin in Morocco, they're gonna know where they are. The food, of course, is good. Pros, it's easier, again, tourist visas. It's easy to stay, you know, on a temporary visa or whatever. Yeah, you learn the language. I mean, for people who, and of course it's time, if you depending on where you are, you sit with whoever's there from Ahl Sunnah, whatever they got set up, and then you learn. You get what you gotta get. Usually people go to these places because they're starting their talib, or some people just want to move just to be with the Muslims. But you know, eventually people leave. Some people stick it out, especially in Egypt, they stick it out. But it really is up to you. Like, you really have to ask yourself, what do you want after studying? Because you know, you're not going to be studying to an intense degree your entire life. You're supposed to study, you get your usul, your foundation, memorize your books, you memorize the Quran, have a goal, complete it. And then next, you gotta focus on your dunya and then start applying your knowledge that you learn. And keep learning, maintain what you learn, and then add on as you go. Don't ever abandon knowledge, but you do your intense studies where that's all you focus on when you first go study. Spend some years doing that, and then after that, it's time to live. You know, and study part-time. Studying is a part of your life. It should be. Everybody should be studying all the time. Always learn Islamic knowledge. So some of the cons for Morocco is, of course, it's difficult to get permanent residency. You gotta go out, fly out every 3 months, or not fly out. Was it fly out or get the what is it called? Try not to get this guy. Get the what is it called? The ferry, right over to Spain to renew the visa. That's a con, you know. For me, that's a con. For me, that's a con. Some people don't mind doing it because it's probably cheap, but for me, that's a con. Also, the scams that go on in Morocco, you can add that also to Egypt. The cons for Egypt as well. You got scams that go on, a lot of magic that goes on. Allah Mustaan. So, yeah, it's corruption. Corruption in a lot of African countries, period. It is. A lot of corruption, a lot of bribery that happens. So, I mean, you know, that exists. So those are the cons for me. I don't like to go in places or stay in places like that. You do what you got to do at first, and then you move on. All right, so let's talk about Yemen. Talking about the countries I've been to. Also, Yemen, the pros of Yemen. For me, of course, the religiosity of the people, the Arabic language, the kindness of the people, the tradition of the people, cheap living, You know, you can add those cons to the other 2 lists as well. It's pretty cheap. But wait, don't quote me on that, because people say that it's starting to get expensive in Egypt. So don't even quote me on that as far as cheap living. I haven't been to those places or keeping up on the prices and things like that. So like I said, those of you who are living there, you can chime in and add, like, what are the prices like for 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom in nice areas, not dirt cheap in areas that nobody really wants to go to. You know, how much you gonna pay for a villa or half a villa in Egypt or even in Morocco. Just add whatever you want to add to benefit the viewers. So yeah, Yemen for me represents that religion, you know, firmness, depending on where you are. Of course, this is my experience. This is my experience. You got people who have gone there trying to study and deviated. Allahu musta'an. So yeah, my experience, that's what I'm talking about. The cons of Yemen. A lot of the places are not safe, and you take a risk of getting hurt if you are American as well as from Ahl Sunnah, because the Houthis have taken over many of the cities, especially Hodeidah. Allah musta'an. May Allah return Yemen back to a Sunni government, you know, so that the Sunnis will be safe and not harmed and shot in the street. The Houthis definitely kill the Sunnis. This is from their belief that they get reward for that. They're Shia. So they're khabith and they're harmful. And you need to be careful when you go there. And I'm not visiting Egypt or Yemen, just for the simple fact that I don't feel like somebody grabbing me and put me in prison because I'm dressed how I'm dressed. And in Yemen, you tell them you're American, anything can happen. I mean, y'all already heard my story. Like, I got put in jail. That was under a Sunni government. Of course, we were in violation, but still, like, that shook me up. That shook me up a lot. So from my knowledge, none from Ahl Sunnah, and I'm talking about those who they don't have no kalam on them. They're not people who support the, Hizbiyya or even the Houthis, because you got some of the Mashayikh who made treaties and agreements with the Houthis, Allah musta'an, and they're not who they used to be. They don't have that thabat that they used to have. So it's people who I'm talking about from Ahl Sunnah, that stab it upon Ahl Sunnah, and the Salafiyin, from the Shuyukh. They do not recommend people to come there to study. It's dangerous. So people who want to ignore that fact that it's dangerous just because they want to go study there and they heard all the stories about Yemen and they want to be a part of that, man, you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk. And myself, I don't think that's intelligent. I don't. We've never been encouraged to go into a war zone or places where you could possibly get killed. But that's the risk you want to take, trying to gain something. Hey, that's your prerogative. That's your prerogative. So, that's basically the cons for Yemen. Pros for Saudi. Pros for Saudi are a lot. Can't even list them all. Pros for Saudi are a lot, and the cons, are some too. But I'm gonna do a part 2. But that's what I got for now. I'm about to order some chicken, take myself home, and inshallah I'll see y'all in the next video. So this is part 1. Don't forget Hijra Mandate Sacrifice. Ma salama.